Hi, you guys. Welcome back. My name is Carrie Penny. I am the Happy Crafty Homemaker, and welcome to show and tell number 141, I believe. As you can tell, we have a cuddle muffin in the room today. Right as I was setting up, he decided he wanted to come in here. Banner still hasn't been allowed in here except for the one video where I introduced you guys to Banner. He did, however, discover my closet the other day while I was cleaning that out and getting things either thrown away or donated, just trying to purge clutter out of my house. And he discovered my closet and now thinks that's the greatest fun place ever. So every time I go into the closet, he's like, "Can I come too? Can I come too?" He's like, "I'm small. I can slip between your feet." So, yeah. We're still delaying him coming into the craft room because there are lots of places in here for him to hide and lots of things in here that he can knock over. So there's that. The last week's actually been pretty chill. Over the weekend we did some shopping and then we, went to church, went out for breakfast and stuff. It was a rainy weekend, so there was like some at-home time where we weren't doing anything, and then some be out when the weather's good kind of time. Monday, I decided to start hardcore purging a lot of stuff and getting rid of things that just are in the way. I've just got, you just build up so much clutter, and it's not even like the craft stuff. Like I told Troy, I'm not going to even touch the craft room. Like I already know the yarns that I have or the yarns that I like. I just need to use what I have, and that's fine. But as far as like, I was making some ornaments a couple years ago, and at the time I could only find bottle brush trees in like gross packages. So I still have like 120 bottle brush trees. I've got some small ones, some medium-sized ones, some blue ones, some green ones, some white ones, some pink ones. It's like, and I don't need this many bottle brush trees. Now he's going through a box of stuff, which he can't hurt. But it's like, stuff like that needs to be gone through. I had some wreath forms that one set was too small, one set was way too big. And it's just time to let those things go. And I paid, 90% off on these. So like the wreath forms were 69 cents. This was back when Hobby Lobby used to put the Christmas stuff 90% off, like the day after Christmas. So we had this huge purchase up for a couple of years of just random craft supplies. And I did use a lot of the wreath forms I bought. Just hold on a second. Now he wants to be let out. Okay, so as I was saying, I made like a giant peacock themed wreath. I made a huge blue, black, and gold wreath for a friend of mine. The peacock wreath I ended up giving to a different friend. She's the one that got my giant coffee filter wreath that I made for Christmas one year. Troy said it looked weird, so I was like, no, put something else up. Yeah, so, I used a lot of these things. Some of these things are partial supplies that I've just held on to. Some things are things that I found at like 90% off that I'm still debating on, but I have a whole bunch of home decor stuff in the guest room that I just need to go through and see what I'm actually going to use or not use. I have some like playing cards that have a really neat design on them. I need to move in here for Halloween cards because they would make great center of card sentiment things. So, there's a bunch of stuff like that that just needs to be gone through and cleared out. And I did a lot of my clothes because I still had, I'll be honest, some size 20, 22 women's clothes. I still had some, pants that were 18 women's. And some of these were big to begin with, but just my weight stayed the same since I got the weight off a year and a half ago. So I really need to get rid of some of this stuff and just get it out of my wardrobe. I've got some things I can still wear, like a lot of these shirts, these trapeze shirts that I got off of Amazon. The armholes are very tight on them, so they still fit. They're a little blousy in like the bust and hip area, but I'm wearing them at home. Like, it really doesn't matter who I mean, even y'all only see me, you know, from shoulders up. You're not seeing the fact that my shirt is down to my knees or anything like that. So, you know, a lot of times, you know, I can just get away with knock around clothes. But like, I also, you know, everybody has this collection of t-shirts and you don't know where any of these things come from. And that was one of the things I went through as I went through my collection of t-shirts, and I had 30 just plain old men's cut or unisex cut crew neck t-shirts. I don't wear t-shirts. I mean, if I do, I wear like the women's cut, and I prefer like a V-neck or, you know, a wider scoop neck. So I was like, I literally have no clue where these shirts came from. I don't know. There was like one I knew where it came from specifically. And that one's always been, it should have been a factory oops, because the seams on it twist the design on the shirt sideways. And I'm lopsided, but I'm not that lopsided. But anyway, so I have, and I'll put a picture here of, by the end of the day on Tuesday, that's what I had to donate. I filled our trash can up. We had 3 bags of regular household trash like we normally do, with a couple, you know, like the bags I use for cleaning the litter box and stuff. So like maybe a third full, and I couldn't even smush the lid Monday night. I just got rid of so much stuff that it's either out of date, it's not good enough quality to donate, it broken. We had so much broken stuff, just giblety things. And I think some of these things maybe got broken when we moved here. And like, I found stuff in the dressers in the guest room that I don't know how it ended up in the guest room, because it used to be in the craft room. And somehow in the move here, you know, I had a bunch of stuff go missing. Well, I found yet another of my paper crafting boards, my envelope folding board was in the dresser in there, and it was wrapped up in a stack of picture frames. And it's like, what sense does this even remotely make? So I'm just purging. I'm going through, I've had some really bad allergy stuff. But yeah, like this week, that's really what I've been doing. We're now, you know, happy St. Patrick's Day. It is Thursday as of filming this. I've got my green, and I got green on. Well, I could have done it if I hadn't hit the yarn. We'll just slide that over to the side and pretend that didn't happen. But yeah, I got my green on. I'm sporting my Irish pride. I got a corned beef with cabbage going in the crock pot. I have one that I'm roasting in the oven, low and slow, like an old school brisket. I got some cabbage to saute up on the stovetop. I prefer mine roasted with sauteed cabbage. Troy prefers his in the crock pot. I like corned beef in general. It's one of those things I'll go to for lunch all the time. Also, he's going to be home. Well, tomorrow he won't be able to have it, but Saturday, Sunday, and Monday for lunch. So I bought him some rye bread so he can have an actual Reuben, and I'll just have my parts of a Reuben minus the bread. We'll have to do like veggies for the primary rest of our meals because sodium, but it'll be really tasty. All right, so after I film this video, and we just got a couple things to talk about here, I will be filming a video for Saturday where we'll be doing an unboxing of some Premier yarns, and I will talk to you guys about that in that video. Everybody always asks when I wear this what this is from. Go check out my Alpaca Direct review series and the subscription reviews, because that's where this is from. The yarn is a knit coal yarn though, and I love it. Absolutely love it. I want to make another one of these using the purple and pink knit coal eventually, but I have not yet bought it. Absolutely love this though. I still have a ball and a half of this one left. Love it. All right. So part of why I didn't get that much done this week is I was purging stuff, and I'll keep updating you guys. I keep joking I'm going to eventually Swedish death clean everything but the craft room. And then I'll just do a normal purge of the craft room one day. But I'm not even to the point of like doing Swedish death cleaning. And if you're not familiar, Google it. There are plenty of people who talk about it. It's kind of like a more thoughtful version of the Marie Kondo tight cleaning. Anyway, so we have this week's shawl. This is using 2 strands of Lion Brand Mandala in, it's not Robin's Egg. It's, oh shoot, I don't remember. I'll have to put it up here. I just pulled it up. Now, I have not blocked this yet. This will definitely need blocking. But that's how the colors pulled up. And this is a really, really pretty pattern. So it's called like the Wrap Me an Ice Cream Shawl by, it's something, Left in Knots. That's who did it. Left in Knots. And it's really not showing up great on camera. Maybe this one will down here. But you have like this beautiful row of cross stitches here with the bless me. Like I said, allergies are kicking up real hard here. I've actually had a couple of nosebleeds from it, that just because everything's getting so dried out. Pollen has been brutal already. But yeah, so this is one I had saved on Pinterest, and then, you know, now that it's time to do a shawl a week, I just went to my crochet shawl thing and pulled this one out. Absolutely love it. I've already started this week's shawl using the exact same pattern. Now, this is written for a DK weight yarn and a size H hook. I did a size J hook with the 2 held together, so that's worsted weight. I would definitely recommend going up to a K. This one I'm doing some different variation of color control with some of the Hobby Lobby cakes, sugar wheel cakes or whatever they are. And I did go up to a K hook. So if you decide to do this pattern in a worsted weight yarn, I definitely recommend going to all the way up to a K instead of trying to do a J hook. But it needs to be blocked so we can, you know, true out the top edge a little bit. And my singles are way denser than they should be. So I really want my singles to be kind of out like that versus this. It's made the fabric a lot denser than it really needed to be. I mean, it's still got some drape. But I love how this turned out. It's going to be much, much longer across the top edge after I block it. And I kind of hate the fact that I made this one specifically to donate it because I kind of love it. But it's got a nice length to it, even unblocked. I mean, we've got, you know, a pretty nice length on that. And I'm very broad through the shoulder. So, I mean, anytime I put something on, I know you don't have like measurements to scale, but I am broad through the shoulders. And, you know, when I'm saying like, I can get this down to my waist and I could put a button on it or something, like we're decently sized on that for how low the V is. But yeah, I'll have this pattern in the description box down below. Really like how this worked out, obviously, since I've already got another one going. But I can't wait to show you guys what I did with the my version of color pooling on this one, because I'm very excited to see how it turns out. We'll see how it turns out. But I do love this. I love doing the mandala cakes 2 at a time like this. Same color or different colorways. I just love how the colors start to line up. I am putting my scraps aside like I did last year, because there are little bits that just don't quite make it into the finished objects with these. I don't color control, but I do try to manage. Like, I don't want the big jump to happen like in the middle of a row where you can really see it. But if like on a single row, if we were going from like the light purple to the light green, I probably wouldn't have changed it. But where we go from the dark purple to the gold, yeah, I'm kind of controlling those joins. So all those scrap bits I'm putting in a bin to the side, along with the scrap bits from the Bloom hat and cowl I did a couple weeks ago. And I'm going to do the same thing I did last year with the scraps from these prayer shawls. And I am going to make the corner to corner blocks. I've still got a stack from last year. Hopefully by the end of this spring, we'll have enough to put them together in a blanket. I have a yarn already set aside upstairs to be the border for the squares. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But I'm loving how those I still love how those squares turned out, doing the 2 held together at random and just letting the colors change at random. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what our new blocks end up looking like. But the one I'm working on now is with worsted weight yarn. So I might not have quite as many scraps as I did last year, but that's okay. It's a long-term scrap project that we're just having fun with it. We're just having fun as we go. So, speaking of scrap projects, we have, this is a red heart with an I love this yarn, and it's opposite. We have two I love this yarns. I love this yarn, I love this yarn. Oops, that's a back, right? Wrong? No, that's the front. And then we did have one that was all the way done with the variegated. I think, finally, I might be done with this red heart yarn. Finally, might be done with these. I swear I only had 4 skeins of this, but this is one of those self-reproducing yarns in my stash. Every single time I turn around, there is more of this yarn in my stash, and it just will not go away. It just will not get used up. Hold on a second. I have a call. Okie dokie. So that took me a lot longer than expected, and I have zero idea what I was talking about before I took that call. So I had meant to go upstairs while I was on the phone and grab the other basket of other squares, but I think we're now up to, this is 2, 4, 6, 7. So I think we got like 37 squares, and I still haven't cleared a bin to start putting these in, but we're probably about halfway through a bin already. I do have enough to do 4 or 5 more, and then I think I'm finally done with all of my solo skeins that I have that are just like the partial leftover worsted weight skeins. So hopefully I will be able to work on some of the other, I've got other scrap projects going, and then I also have my spring blanket that I'm working on. I am still working on trying to figure out how to film. Pippin came back in here with me again, and now he's walking all over a plastic bag. I'm very sorry for the background noise. I know it's distracting because it's distracting for me too. I am still planning on trying to film the tutorial for the twisted braid border that I used on the fall blanket. Unfortunately, trying to find a place to film and a time to film has been very difficult. Now he's mewing at the door again. I'm going to finish this before I walk. We've already got 3 clips I'm having to. But like I said, my husband's been working from home when he's not on the road. And when he's on the road, I'm generally trying to get things done. So we're working on it. We're working on it. He's going to be home all day tomorrow working from home, so I can't film. He'll be on conference calls and stuff all day long tomorrow. And then he's going to be working from home on Monday. So trying to find the right time and combination has been a little. I am working on it though. I promise. I'm still trying to get this room cleaned up, so maybe I can figure out how to film in here and set something up to where we've got good lighting and sound control in here. But it is what it is. So I am going to go ahead and stop yip-yapping at you. I'm going to add, once again, some Pippin and banner moments here at the end. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful, fantastic day. And I look forward to seeing you again real soon. Bye, guys. What you doing, Banner? I don't think that's Banner's yarn. I don't. I don't think that's Banner's yarn. I think that's Mommy's yarn. What you doing? You're gonna try to run off again, aren't you?